Alrighty, now I can see everything. Alright, so we're back to the course compass, and I went through the homework, and just to review, the homework question 1.2, number, what was it, 2? Works much better when you can see. Okay, question 2 again. Is it not going to pull it up? There it is. And that was the question, and what I went through and told everybody was to help me solve this. That is a guided tutorial. That means it asks questions while you do the problem. The view an example, what is that? That's just a tutorial. Does it ask you questions? No. Video, what is a video? It shows you how to do it on a video. Textbook, that's for people that like to read. It takes you to the book and where the material is in the book. Print, that's where you can print the question as well as the whole homework assignment. And if you want to do the conventional paper and pencil, you will print out the whole homework assignment, but do not print out the homework assignment and go back and forth, because as soon as you answer one, it algorithmically generates a new number. So do not do both of them. Do all your work, then go back and type in the answers. And this one right here is the one that we finished. And that button right there is what sets the pace of the what? Of the class. If I get 10 or 15 of those, then I will not go to the next section until I cover all 10 or 15. If I get one, then I'll cover one and we'll go to the next problem. I mean the next section. You see what I'm saying? Don't be coming in here when we're on 10.5 and you're sending in 10.1 questions. Okay, because that don't work very well. Now I will cover any questions on that day before the test opens. Remember I told you I always give y'all a day to go over questions before the test opens. That one day I'll say, okay, Thursday, the test will open Thursday. So we'll spend Thursday's class on doing all questions. Now that's when I'll go over the 10.1 question. So that's what sets the pace of the class. That button right there. There's been one other button I want to show you. It's not on this one. And there's other buttons that you don't see on every single one. And that button is the guided. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. It might not be on these. Nope. Might have to go to another. You go to another section of homework. Go to 2.1. There we go. Now this question has an animation instead of a video. Video and animation is the same thing, except a video is where you have a person that's doing the writing or doing the explanation. What is an animation? The computer's doing it. And I'll let you look at that. It's supposed to be talking.
Matches the red graph.
Let me go back. I'm sorry.
The general form of an absolute value. In this activity, you will explore how graphs can be transformed in multiple ways. The general form of an absolute value function is f of x equals a times the absolute value of bx plus c plus d. Using the pull-down menus, change the values of a, b, c, and d so that the blue graph matches the red graph.
Now this is very helpful to students because look, it shows you what happens when you change the numbers. Like that. It shows you, and this is what I do in class. Very helpful. Now, the red one is what? Going the opposite direction. In mathematics, what is the opposite direction? Positive or negative? Look there. Isn't that special? And your vertical shift is always going to be out here by itself. So let's go with positive 1.
Good job. Selecting the values of -1, 1, 3, and 1 for the values of A, B, C, and D, transform the blue graph to match the red graph. Here's another one. Use the pull-down menus to change the values of A, B, C, and D so that the blue graph matches the red graph.
All right, we've got a horizontal shift of 2, so that means we've got to do -2 right here. And a lot of you go, wait a minute, that's backwards. Yeah, it is backwards. That's the only time it is backwards, but we'll talk about that later. And this is going to be skinnier, so it's going to be 1. And this is going to be 2. Oops, I'm sorry. My bad. Did I have 1 there? No, I have 0 there. And that should be, let's see, plus vertical 0. It should be the answer.
Selecting the values of 1, 2, -4, and 0 for the values of A, B, C, and D, transform the blue graph to match the red graph.
And that's how you do this kind of integrates the guided tutorial with the video. Kind of does that. So the visual learners and the guided tutorial combine right here. Some people like this, some people can't stand it. So I'm sorry. Can't please what? Can't please everyone. What president said that? You can please some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. Really? You are kidding me. Y'all don't know what president said it. Oh yeah, it's not on any test. Look it up. Very famous president said it. Close, the opposite of Kennedy. In fact, you can do all the similarities with Kennedy and you'll find the president that said that.
Next one.
Nope. Don't tell me y'all don't know the coincidences between Kennedy and Lincoln. Y'all ain't never seen those? What do y'all learn? Oh yeah, test. Okay, well, y'all need to, okay, I'm going to show you. Because there's some things in the world that you need to know. Yes. Lincoln, Kennedy associations. I don't know how to spell association. There it is. Lincoln, Kennedy, urban legends. Or just like when President Kennedy was assassinated, where did they find the quote assassin? Because I don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald did it. In the theater. It was a theater. I don't know if it was on Lincoln Street or not, but it was something to do with Lincoln. And then where was John Wilkes Booth? Where was he when he killed the president? In the theater. What theater? Ford Theater. So I don't know how that has to play with it. But anyway, President Kennedy was killed in 1963. President Lincoln was killed in 1863. So there's all kinds of coincidences.
Kennedy was killed in a Ford,
Yeah,
and he was killed before he did.
yeah.
But there was some,
There's some similarities about the theaters.
or was it Kennedy killed in a,
We'll just look at
was it
some of
Lincoln
them.
or a Ford?
You just have to read it. It's the list. Both presidents were elected in 46. Both presidents were elected to the presidency in 60. Lincoln defeated incumbent John Breckinridge for the presidency in 1860. Kennedy defeated incumbent President Richard M. Nixon for the presidency in 1960. Both their predecessors, blah, blah, blah. Both presidents were concerned with the problems of black Americans. Both presidents were shot on Friday in the presence of their wives. Both Fridays preceded a major holiday. Both presidents were accompanied by another couple. The male companion of the other couple was wounded by the assassin. Both presidents had a son die during their presidency. Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater. Kennedy was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald in a Lincoln automobile made by Ford. Now that's a little bit of a stretch, okay? Lincoln had a secretary, this is it. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy who told him not to go to the theater. Kennedy had a secretary named Evelyn Lincoln who warned him not to go to Dallas. Both presidents' last name have 7 letters. There are 6 letters in each Johnson's first name. I don't know. Oh, Johnson's. After shooting Lincoln, Booth ran to the theater to a warehouse. After shooting Kennedy, Oswald ran from a warehouse to a theater. Both Johnsons were succeeded as president. Both assassins died in the same month. Both assassins were Southern white males. Both assassins were killed before being tried. Both assassins had 15 letters in their name. Both were shot in the head. But that's not on your test. That's not on your test that you're coached for in you're taught in high school. How many of you have never heard that? Let's go to famous quotes by Lincoln. Just so you can say that I'm not crazy. Famous quotes by Lincoln. Well, you'll just have to, I don't know if they have, you'll just have to find it. I don't know, but he said it somewhere. Maybe it might be easier if I just do the quote. You can please some of the people. There it is. I hate it when this happens. I hate it. Well, it's in here somewhere. You can please some of the people. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln has been incorrectly attributed. Okay. Okay, fool. He said you can fool some of the people. Okay. Whatever. I got it wrong. But anyway, he said something. He said something famous. Lincoln was actually... one other thing about Lincoln. How does he tie in with South Carolina? Anybody know? Anybody know the legend or the rumor who his daddy was? No, it's just something that Lincoln's daddy. And you can read about it, but some people say it was John C. Calhoun, and who was his mother? A barmaid in Hickory Tavern, which is right out of Honey Path. But y'all have to look that up. But it's not on any of your standardized tests. So y'all won't know anything about it. Okay, so that's that. And
Use the pull-down menus.
you can go back and
Here's another
forward
one.
and let's get out of that. All right. Now, let's talk about test. When you go to test, you'll see test here, and you won't see any from me because I haven't what? I haven't assigned any. Now, what will my test look like? Well, I'll show you. Oh, they erased all my tests. I got to go back and pull in one. Hold on. Import. Copy. Just give me a second and I'll bring in one of my old tests. They erased everybody's test. Is this a new book? Crap. Give me a second. I was going to show you the crypt questions. Okay, here's one, preview. There's what the test looks like. You know the difference between it and the homework. What's missing? The supplements. That's what's missing. You answer it the same way. Will Hubert's final exam be online? Yes, I didn't tell you exactly. I'm just showing you the crypt questions. Where is all of Hubert's homework and tests done? In the kitchen.
My favorite is the bathroom.
In what? Class or online? And that's another math question. How is homework, tests, and exam weighed? 20, 60, 20. I don't know. I can't read. I don't know. The teacher didn't tell me. And that's difference quotient. Another test question. Another test question. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam grade? No way, no how. Water, Tuesday, Donald Duck.
You don't know how tempted I was to put Donald Duck. Like, you really don't know.
Listen, there's enough people that miss it. So, test question, test question, test question, test question, test question, test question. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? He averages a grade, he takes the highest, he calls you a loser and fails you, he gives you a drop slip. Yeah. Which branch of the military did Hubert serve? Thank you. I'd rather you put Boy Scouts or Navy than Army. In fact, I'm going to take Army off because people put that and that just irritates me. Here is the one that is so funny. This is the one that people miss and I don't know why. What is Hubert's email address and cell number? Why do you say C? It's the only one that's what? Why is C the answer?
It's your actual email.
Because it's a real email, and it's a real what? People get this one wrong.
You know, I really wanted to call one of those numbers last night.
I don't know what you're going to
Actually
get.
worked.
I know one thing, if you call one of the help numbers for Course Compass and you put a 6 instead of an 8, you get a porn number, or 1-800 number, 1-900 number. So you better watch it. Yeah. So how many questions, did anybody count how many easy questions there were on this one? 6. And there's 26 questions, so they're about 4 points apiece. So there's 24 points I'm giving you right there, if you get them right. And I'm going to add a couple more. A couple more of the questions that people always ask me. One question I will ask you is, where can you find your final grade after you take the final exam? Call Hubert. Email Hubert.
I really didn't know where it was at. Okay.
You're not supposed to say anything. You're telling on yourself. All right. So you see how the test works? You submit the test, and what's so good about the test online is instant what? Look at this, people. I didn't answer a single question mathematically, and I made a 27. If you ever come up to somebody in my math class and they made a 2 on my test, back away from them real slow, because the stupid or the lazy might rub off on you. When's class over? 11. Well, why is everybody packing up like they're leaving? I wasn't talking about you. You're getting a peanut. You got one peanut?
I said a peanut.
Oh, I thought you said peanut. All right. You got any boiled peanuts? I like boiled peanuts. Now, look over here. What does this button say? What do you think that means?
Look at what you got wrong.
Emails. How do I see my test after I... And look here. Look at that button. What does that button say? That says print. Print what? The test. So how is the only way you can print the test? You have to go through the review process. Now, what if you just want to go back and print a test that you took 3 months ago? Well, you go into your grade book, which takes us to grade book, which I got to get out of here. Well, I'll just fill out this one. Yeah, it's all my fault. And go to grade book, and it'll have it in here. And under test, well, it won't show it because I haven't taken it. See the review symbol? It's right there. And if you take a test, it'll be there also. Okay? Now, how do you print out your book? Chapter contents. Go to the chapter and section you want. Let's say 1.2. That's what I pulled up a while ago. And multimedia e-text. And here is the section 1.2 in your book. So if you have your book, turn to page 12 and it will look exactly like this. And let's see how many pages are the actual lesson. It ends on page 19. So how many pages is that? 7 pages, 7 or 8 pages. So you print. Go to the print symbol. Right now I can't find it. Up here in the top right hand corner, print. And you can print up to 7 pages. I think 7 or 8 will probably get it because it's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 8 pages. So you would type 8 pages. and print. Stick that in your notebook, bring it to class. Because I usually cover 1 to 2 sections of class. And that way you don't have to carry all that book around.
So
Or-
that means if it is more pages than 8.
What'd you say?
It was more pages than 8, you don't want to print like half of it.
Well, what you would do is you would print 8 pages, then you would go to the 8th page and like 19 and print the next 8, 5 or 6 pages.
Okay, so if you went to one 9 pages, you wouldn't start over.
No. It starts where it starts from the one that you're on. Page 2. Now, right now, see, I'm on page 19. So you don't want to do that. You want to go to page 12 and print right there. Here's where you want to print. Print the next 8 pages. And if you want to, 10, and that way you probably get the homework in also. Question on that. Now you see why I tell you don't have to buy a book. Because technically everyone has the book when you log on to Course Compass. And you can print it out as you need it. Yes, sir. Access fee, I think, is $105. How much?
103.
103. And the book in Access is 130 something.
No, 167 because I bought it.
167. So it saved you, what, 65 bucks? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't use the book, and when I do use the book, I pull it up for y'all to see. Didn't I do that for y'all last semester? And you can borrow a book if you want to bring a book. Go borrow a book, or borrow somebody's book from last semester, or share somebody's book, or go in together and share a book. There's no need in bringing a book to class every day like you did in high school or junior high or whatever. Okay? All right, who else has questions on anything I covered with, let me look and see if there's anything else. Because we can start on math. We got time to start on math. Let's see. Shut up. You can tell my stomach's
I think
feeling
the
better.
first thing we should go over are the rules.
What rules?
The rules.
I don't have any rules.
Yes, you do.
What rules?
The
You
math
got
rules.
the math rules. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shortcuts,
No, I've covered those last semester.
but not for new people.
Well, they should know it. They are. How many of you had 102? Besides my students.
Exactly.
Oh,
See,
God.
the point has been made.
All right. Well, let me go around the room. Daniel, what did you have algebra-wise last? Did you have pre-cal?
I had chapter.
All right, so you're good. How about you? You had 1 and 2? Okay, you had. Who did you have?
Gregory D.
Do you mind? What did you have?
This is my first college math.
Okay, so what did you have in high school?
I think my last one was pre-cal.
Pre-cal, so you're good. You don't remember, sounds like me, but it was high school. So you don't know what you had. You had it here or somewhere else. Okay, 102 maybe? You don't remember? I know what y'all have, know what you have. Who'd you have? How long ago was it?
I think I took you over this summer, but I just logged on and did the work.
Oh, you did the online.
Yeah.
Okay. She's pretty good. Yeah, I was on the committee that hired her. Okay. What? I'm sorry, somebody interrupted you while you were talking.
Intermediate.
Yeah. No, you. Huh? Okay, what do you have as far as algebra? 1 or 2? Or did you have 102? 1 and 2?
I took one of these at a different college.
Where?
York Tech.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, what do you have in high school? Okay, what about algebra 1, 2, pre-cal, cal, and 2?
I had Dr. Andrew, the summer in college algebra.
How'd you like that?
Sure. I had the 1 month class, so when the students were down to me, I got 63 up to
How about the teacher?
student math. He didn't find my email back or anything.
Pre-cal? Okay. So nobody needs a refresher. All right.
Says the girl who came from pre-cal in high school.
We will go over the shortcuts, okay? We will. I think there is an algebra review also in the homework. Let's look at that right quick and see. Yep, intermediate algebra review. Let's look at that. Now, there's a lot of people that ain't going to know how to complete the square because they're always taught quadratic formula, quadratic formula, quadratic formula. And it's useless. Quadratic formula is useless.
We have a song about it.
I don't even want to hear it. All right, y'all can do that one. Y'all can do that one. Y'all can do that one. Okay, there's the difference of two squares. 9a squared minus what? 25, Hubert. There's one. That's shortcut number. No, you're wrong. Get out of here. You're a failure. Number 1, a plus b, quantity squared. I will write them down for you. And this is just, I got to do it on here so it'll be recorded. This is one of the biggest, and she is right, Ms. Zug is right. This is one of the biggest problems that students have with algebra. They forget these formulas. And I call them shortcuts because I'm not going to sit here and say difference of two squares and difference of two cubes. I'm not going to say it 15 times. Shortcut number 1 is a plus b, quantity squared, is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Shortcut number 2 is a minus b, quantity squared, is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Now you don't have to memorize 2. You just have to memorize 1 and do what? Change the sign right there. That's all you have to do. And this sign corresponds with this sign, and this sign corresponds with that sign. So really, you just have to learn 1. 3 is the difference of two squares. Shortcut number 3. A squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. Shortcut number 4. A cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. And shortcut number 5 is a cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And again, all you have to do is remember 1, and these correspond, and these are the opposite of this. Now, those are the 5 shortcuts. That is one of the biggest problems that students have coming from Math 101, 102, to college algebra. They forget how to do this. And Algebra 1 and 2, and coming to college algebra. So, that's one of the biggies right there. Another thing is completing the square. A lot of you don't know how to do that, and we will go over that, and I will bang that in your head until it hurts, because your first semester calculus, second semester calculus, you're going to need to know how to do it. Do you use the quadratic formula anytime in calculus? No. Why do they teach it? Because they don't want to teach you completing the square, because you have to use basic math. And they want you to depend on the calculator, so you can use calculator on your coach test to get money for the district. Okay? Now, how do you use these? Well, I'm sorry. I'll let y'all finish writing. I'm sorry. Give y'all a minute to write. I have to remember not everybody is as fast to write things down as Miss Zug is. How many of you seen these before? Okay. How many of you remember them? My students. Miss Black, you were supposed to raise your hand. Well,
At least she's honest. See, this is why we need to get over it. 3 weeks is kind of a long time.
yes, eternity.
And
All right.
after, you can
2a plus 3 quantity squared. Well, the first thing you do is you look and see which one it looks like. It looks like the first one. Looks like that one. Doesn't look like this one because that's a minus. Doesn't look like this one because 2 is not a perfect square. Doesn't look like this one because these are cubes. So it's got to be that one. So, let me put it back here. So, this part right here is A, and this part right here is what? B. So now you take A and B and plug it in to this right here. Parentheses squared plus 2 parentheses plus parentheses squared. What goes here? 2x, 2x. What goes here? 3, 3. And you get 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Now, a lot of you say, golly, I've do the FOIL method before. Well, you got to remember, all of this should be done where? Should be done mentally. The FOIL, you ain't got time to do that. This is what y'all have been taught to depend on. 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9. Let me ask you a question. What is that? It's a screw. An ice cream cone. You see a piece of ice cream on top of it?
Something sounds like underwear.
No, that would be that. Okay? That's a thong, okay? I hope it is, because I hope guys don't just don't. Okay? Let's just let the women discuss that. I don't need. That doesn't look like my underwear. Anyway, it is a screw. So, you have 3 tools to use. I'm not an artist, so don't even, that's a screwdriver. And a wrench. Which one are you going to use to put that screw in? Screwdriver. Why aren't you going to use a hammer? You could, but what will happen? Some of you mechanical people, what would happen if you had a piece of wood and you took that hammer and you drove that screw into the piece of wood? What would happen? You strip the screw. In other words, the threads on the screw will make a larger indentation, and then whatever you got the screw holding, it will what? It will pull out. So you can't use that. You can't use this because it doesn't have any shoulders on it, so you have to use this. There are times where you have to use the FOIL method. In this class, 5% of the time. There are times you have to use the quadratic formula, 2% of the time. The rest of the 90% of the time, you're going to use complete square. Okay? All right, so let's do another one. FOIL.
home like you don't say.
There. No, I don't. I don't. Y'all can elaborate on that. Okay, let's do a nerding. Let's do this one on the board so everybody at home can see it. Let's do 4x squared minus 25. I love to see that. I like Ron White, but he kind of is a little bit ultra caveman for me. But I like him. I can watch him, but I can only watch him for so long.
I like the vulgarity.
Yeah. Nope. Are we there yet? Nope. You're wrong. Get out of the classroom. You're going to fail, whoever that was. All right, 4x minus 25. What is it? It's perfect squares. How do you know? Because you know your perfect squares. You know 4x squared is a perfect square, and you know that 25 is a perfect square. So which one is it? Now, a lot of people say, well, how did you know that, Hubert? Well, let me show you how you know that. Well, I ain't got time. I'll send you a... Go to your Excel spreadsheet and make you an Excel spreadsheet and do squares, cubes, fourth, fifth, sixth, and fill it out and learn it. That's how you do it. What's the square root of 4x squared? So A is equal to 2x. What is the square root of 25? So B is equal to 5. So your answer is 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. Now, I got to take the roll because, Daniel, what time's class over? Okay. I pick on Daniel because Daniel is 6'4", and I remember Daniel when he was like pooping in his diapers, about that tall. That was a long time ago, wasn't it, Daniel? Yep. Let me pull up the handy dandy. I got to make sure everybody's here before the financial aid police comes to get y'all. Do not leave yet because I haven't dismissed the class. Hopefully I can do this in the next few minutes. Okay, today's Wednesday, right? All right, Miss Black is here. Miss Bronner is here. Carrie, Clayton, Cleveland, Craig, Crenshaw, Fitzsimmons, Rialdi, Guffey, Geimer, Holly is here. Mickle. Richie is here. Ryder. Sabakul is here. Smith. Stolfus. Vaughn. Vining. And Zug is here. And I need to shut that up. And I need to